Hello everyone, this is Irena Anggreni, wellness leadership coach and your partner in mental fitness. So this video is pre-recorded, it's not live as before because I already configured everything for my upcoming live workshop this Thursday, Peak Performance Without Burnout. Join if you can, and I don't want to mess anything in the setup in the meantime, so that's why this one is pre-recorded instead of live as before. And I thought for this video I talk about the sage powers, or how to train your inner sage, because in the past in this mental fitness series I think I've talked quite a bit about the saboteurs part, right? Like how it's impacting your mental fitness, your well-being, performance, relationships, your leadership as well, how it could be hijacking your effort, derailing you from your goals and so on, and watch out. Okay, so that's only one part of the mental fitness approach. So just to give you an overview, mental fitness, it's a groundbreaking approach based on the research in positive intelligence, and it's been validated with hundreds of thousands of participants, including top leaders and their teams, and also elite athletes, and also just globally. It's not like a specific to certain culture like Western only or Eastern only, but it's really working globally. And the important three pillars, it is about catching the saboteur, and then kind of building your self-command muscle, and the third one is growing your sage powers. So let me just give a quick recap before we jump into the sage power. So the catching your saboteur, that's something we really need to do diligently. It's not like, okay, we've done the work and then no more saboteurs in my life, because they always come up, they pop up, even like after doing the work for years or decades, there's still this sabotaging inner voice. And it helps us to know who they are and how they behave, how kind of the behavior that it is expressed, or the thinking patterns, or the inner voice that we hear. So because this helps us like to catch them like in the moment, like when they are suddenly activated for whatever reason. And of course then we need to kind of like knowing and catching the saboteur alone is not complete, right? Because if we don't have the self-command muscle, then we just let the saboteurs keep hijacking us. That's why we also need to build our self-command muscle, because then we catch the saboteur, and then all right, like we don't give in. Okay, let me be sabotaged, it's okay, but hey, no, we take firm actions to actually choose another direction. And this self-command muscle is you can build this with simple exercises. It's not unlike mindfulness exercise. So if you've seen the past videos, the past lives, it's called in the language of positive intelligence PQ reps, so that it fits in the concept of fitness, like how many reps you do. And it is a very simple action, basically what a PQ rep is. So completely, if you're into mindfulness already, it's very similar. Basically, it's going to your body, observing your physical sensations, and there can be a variety of it, because for instance, like we can use our audio or hearing PQ rep. It's kind of noticing what sound do I hear right now, or if you're listening to my voice, kind of like what kind of what kind of timbre, what kind of maybe accent the language that you speak, that you hear right now. Or you can do a visual PQ rep, really paying attention to what you're seeing right now. Or tactile, yeah, sense of touch. Like this is like the very basic exercise, kind of like if you rub two fingertips together and really noticing, bringing your mind, your attention to observe what's the sensation there. Or it can be just sensing your, what do you call that? Yeah, the internal sensation, like, kind of, or the tactile, like, how does this clothes, kind of what do I sense on my skin? Yeah, maybe the temperature, or maybe, the clothes you're wearing. Like, is it like comfortable, or is it too tight in some parts, or maybe it gives you some itch? All those things. And of course, kind of as I've practiced mindfulness quite a lot before. So one thing that we always carry is also our breath. Yeah, so that's also an easy way to, even like if you are anywhere doing anything, we always have our breath with us. So if you notice your breathing, like knowing just like when you're breathing in and breathing out, yeah, that's building up your self-command, because you're commanding your mind to pay attention to the physical sensations. And that also automatically, you probably notice if you've been doing this with me, like, it quiets down the inner chatter, yeah, the inner voices of the saboteurs. And what it also does is that it activates the parts of your brain that is connected to your empathy, your clear, calm focus, your curiosity. Yeah, and this is all the sage powers. So that's kind of the setup of what a long setup for the sage powers. But there are 5 in total. Yeah, and I know if you are into personal development, you likely already like, so many things you learn that you need to remember. So don't worry about it. And these 5 powers, it gives you even a stronger foundation to whatever it is like you've learned before. And just to give you all 5 for now. So there's the empathize, and then the explore, the innovate, the navigate, and activate. Yeah. So I'll go through each of these power one by one. So empathize, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, when we are dealing with any problem, and often it happens like in the relational space, right? For instance, like I'm upset with someone because they didn't deliver on what they promised, or they didn't return my message or my call, whatever. So instead of already judging, this person like is just incompetent, I won't trust him or her ever again, instead of that, that's the saboteur talking just now. So we are invited to use our sage powers, empathize. Yeah, and it is really about being or practicing our deep understanding about people's feelings, needs, and desires, including your own. Yeah. So in my case, like, what is that? My needs, why am I being upset or triggered when someone didn't deliver on their promise? Or it's my needs, perhaps, like to have that that security, that trust in my life, and like how can I also fulfill those needs for myself? And this allows us to, instead of being hijacked by our anger and immediately accusing people, so you're this and this, you didn't deliver on your promise and so on. We can actually be more loving and more compassionate, in a way, maybe if we meet that person, or we want to address this problem with this person, what is that loving and compassionate question we can ask or feedback we can give. Yeah. And that also opens the way to the explore power, because explore is, instead of jumping into conclusion again, but we want to really discover what else is going on that we don't know about. Yeah, so if we continue with this example, yeah, someone who didn't deliver on their promise, like, okay, what else might be going on? What are the contributing factors here? Yeah, instead of immediately blaming something, blaming the person or the situation, but kind of, yeah, what are we are figuring out with calm and a cool head, like what are the important factors contributing to this issue before we go towards like finding a solution together. And that's really important, again, like to not do it without any blame or judgment, because if you notice there's blame or judgment, like it's going to taint whatever effort, whatever you are expressing, whatever questions you're asking that person. Yeah, kind of it could sound like passive aggressive, like if you ask like, hey, what's going on in your life that you don't deliver, instead of like, if you're more sage, like you can be again more compassionate. Like, yeah, I noticed that kind of I was missing your delivery that you promised, or what, is there something going on that prevented you to deliver it on time? Maybe you could acknowledge or appreciate, like, because I know you've been very on time before. So yeah, empathize, explore, and then coming on to the next, the innovate. Innovate is also basically the name says it all, right? It's about generating the best possible solutions. And sometimes like what of course people generally think like, oh yeah, of course I can generate ideas, I can think of solutions, but quite often we can be very judgmental as well towards ideas, or towards kind of like some thoughts in this innovate process, that we shut it down. Kind of so let me give an example, like when sometimes I've heard an idea before and I thought, oh, I know this one, and then I know that it will run into this problem and that problem and so on, so let's just shut it down. It's not worthy to be like to be put on the table. But imagine if you're working in a team context, like, yeah, this exactly this judgment, this behavior, yeah, it's going to kill the maybe the feeling of safety, and also the innovative, the playful, the curiosity vibe of the team. Because then like, oh, like people, yeah, maybe like people are throwing in ideas, and they, of course, not everyone is an expert. I mean, like, you are an expert in something, but you cannot be an expert in everything. But kind of to facilitate that culture of innovation, that's really, there needs to be a space that people are people feel invited and they feel safe to throw in idea. No question is dumb, or no idea is too dumb. And there's actually a very fun game, like, for this innovate, to cultivate this innovate power, which is you probably heard it from improv before, the yes and game. Yeah. And basically, instead of evaluating things right away, that's what kills this creative, innovative process. Instead of that, we always we do this, like, okay, if some idea is being thrown up or thrown out or being being mentioned, we can mention, like, what I like about that idea is and that inspires me of this other idea. So kind of, even like if you think like, wow, it's such a ridiculous idea, there's nothing good, there's always something nice, something you can appreciate about any idea, even if it's just 10% of it. Yeah, so what you like about the idea and so on, and that inspires you to another idea. That's how to keep the innovate power alive and to cultivate it so that it's even growing stronger. And then the navigate, you know, navigate power. So often it's, creating ideas is the easy part for you, but then like choosing like, oh, now we have so many ideas, what to do next. So this is where the navigate power comes into play. Yeah, because it's really about choosing a direction, choosing a solution that aligns with your values, your mission, your purpose. And it's really about prioritizing, but also about aligning, really touching deep into yourself, like aligning, okay, like so many options, so many possibilities, like where will my next step be, that, kind of that it is in alignment with who I am, with my missions, my values, my purpose. And also, if you're with a team, with, how do I navigate also based on the values, the mission, the purpose of the team or the organization. So this can open really deep reflection, because one exercise that is very poignant for this navigate power is really about, kind of imagining like at the end of your life looking back, or maybe at the end of the project looking back, what would you consider to be the most important? Yeah, so that would be your guiding compass, like to navigate the way towards positive action, towards positive change. And that leads us to the, after empathize, explore, innovate, navigate, we arrive at the activate, which is really about taking firm, fearless action with calm and clear-headed focus. And this is my weakest because taking action, kind of, whoa, that also usually when the saboteurs come up again, because they want to derail you. Yeah, I mean, like if it's an easy action like brushing my teeth, that's easy, right? But if it's like something that's impactful, and then usually like the saboteurs come again, trying to protect you from failure, but like in a way that is not productive at all. So the activate power is really about taking that determination, like laser focus, and kind of like, yes, we are doing this in a very calm way, not a panicky way, okay? And one thing here that is important, like I mentioned, like the saboteurs usually show up a lot in this activate moment. So again, preempt your saboteurs. If you already practice like catching your saboteurs, like which ones are often showing up. So catch them catch them again, preempt them, like even before I take this action, I know that my saboteur would ridicule me, or try to make me small by saying this. So how do I preempt that, kind of what would be my sage response in that situation? So if I knew that my saboteur would belittle me, like make me like feel like an imposter. So my sage response would be, for instance, I'm doing this because I know it's helping others, for instance. And it is not about me. It's not about how great I am, or like, oh, how perfect is my my sage. But this is really about what I can contribute right here, right now, like to to help others, to help my fellows in the journey. Like, this is just some examples. You could have your own sage response. And that actually brings me to just to wrap up here. Yeah, I think like it's good to recap it from the beginning, right? Like, mental fitness is really your capacity to respond to challenges in a positive mindset rather than negative, and it has 3 pillars. Oh, my voice. 3 pillars: catching your saboteur diligently and building your self-command, and activating your brain, yeah, through this mindfulness exercise or PQ reps. And you strengthen also your sage powers by using them. Yeah, that's how you strengthen your sage powers. And the sage powers, there are 5 of them. This is based on factor analysis, and it's the foundation of like everything else that you learn will be amplified if you can master these 5 powers, which is empathize. What else? Explore, innovate, navigate, and activate. So now, as a parting reflection, I would love to invite you to choose which one is the sage power that feels most needed right now to face your challenge. Yeah, so what is the sage power that you feel is most needed right now to face whatever challenge you have in your life? So welcome to leave in the comment or DM me. I already mentioned like my my most needed sage power is the activate at this point. Yeah, so it could change tomorrow, but yeah, welcome to share also, like, okay, that's the sage power I want to I want to really build at this point in time. So I wish you a wonderful week further, and perhaps I see you on Thursday at my live workshop. It's Peak Performance Without Burnout, the Modern Leaders Roadmap, where you will get more of this, like in a more integrated, in a more complete way, and I'll help you also to apply it in your day-to-day life. Okay, so enjoy the day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.